5, 4, 3, 2. Yo, what's up, guys? Welcome back to this week's episode of the GameState Podcast. As always, I'm ChickeNeck, and we have our co-host with us. We got GreaseMonkey, we got Made Unwrecked, and we got TuneablePower. This week, we got a lot to talk about. We're going to give you this day in gaming. We're going to talk about the strike going on. PlayStation. Something happened with PlayStation. We're going to talk about it. We're going to get you guys filled in on that. We're going to be doing the Game Boy and Game Boy Color Play It or Throw It Away. We've got 8 titles. We're going to spin that wheel, and we're going to play or throw away. We're also going to do our Game of the Year discussion. It's getting to that time of the year. It's coming up soon. Everybody's talking about it. Game of the Year. We're also going to do our personal Game of the Year picks this week. And then, like always, we'll have your game deals of the week. So let's get it rolling. How's everybody doing?
Glad to be back.
Pretty good tonight.
Sorry I haven't been here, guys.
Made him right back, everybody.
It's good to have you back, bud. Between broken elbows and loss of power and everything else that's happened lately, I'm glad to be back. Let's go. All right, guys.
Yeah, dude.
This day in gaming. So September 2nd, or October 2nd. I'm living in the past, boys. All right. 1997. The international version of Final Fantasy VII, the OG, was released throughout the world. Oh, when?
That's a big
Banger.
one.
Big title.
Big W.
That, I believe before that, it was just all in Japanese. There was no international version, but 1997, October 2nd. In 2000, Freestyle Motocross, McGrath versus Pastrana was released. I don't know if you guys ever played that, but I fucking love that game.
That game is awesome, dude.
That game,
freaking awesome, dude.
that game was amazing. I think that was the one that had the track creator on it. That was like the
Yeah,
first time
yeah.
we got a track creator.
Yeah,
Track creators are always good.
Yeah, it was a good time. 2002. What's that? Go ahead.
I was just gonna say the 90s were great for those extreme sports games.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Tony Hawk. Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Motocross Madness. Oh yeah. I love those 2002. Burnout 2: Point of Impact. We got a couple games that was released on this day in 2002. We had Burnout 2: Point of Impact, a fun, arcade style car racing
Racer, yeah.
Yeah. We had Hitman 2: Silent Assassin. That came out on this day.
Go. That's good.
We also had Need for Speed Hot Pursuit 2 on this day in 2002. So October 2nd in 2002, there are 2 really good racing games, and we got Hitman 2. So big day in 2002 on October 2nd.
It's not bad.
2008. We're jumping ahead 6 years. Dynasty Warriors 6 was released.
Yes.
I love those games.
I've never been a super big fan of them, but I have, played them. I was a big fan of the Gundam one. They made a Gundam game that was kind of
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. I know.
It was kind of made like the Dynasty Warrior games. I really like that one. I don't know if I played
Gundam Warriors.
Dude, Dynasty Warriors, me and my brothers used to be fucking addicted to those things. We played the balls off those things.
Yeah, they were always a good time if you had people to play with.
You should pick. Have you played the Zelda ones, Grease?
I haven't.
Warriors.
Dude,
Hyrule Warriors. Yeah, I've been meaning to get them. It's on my list to get. I remember the first time I played Dynasty Warriors. It was Dynasty Warriors 3 for the PS2. Literally spent about an hour just fighting enemies that were coming out of the gate, and I didn't realize to stop the enemies from coming out that gate, you had to defeat the gate captain.
Yeah.
My brother was a huge fan of Samurai Warriors, and I used to remember him being like younger, and he would just be doing the same thing, be fighting wave after wave after wave. It would be like the body count would be in thousands, and I'd just be sitting there like, does this ever stop, or do you just kill people?
If you don't take out the gate captains, they'll just keep coming out. Though I remember a couple times playing with my buddies running into Leo Boo in the Dynasty Warriors.
That's what I was talking about.
You run from him.
Boo. Yeah, Boo was
You
freaking insane.
Run
man.
from that dude.
Dude,
He shows up, you just run.
There's an anime out where they have like the best human warriors fight like the gods and like a tournament to decide if the human race is worthy of existing anymore. It's a really good anime, but Liu Bu was one of the contestants in that, and they made him look really fucking sick, and like the animation and combat in that anime was really good. But moving on, 2012. This isn't going to be up everybody's alley, but it is definitely on my street. Command and Conquer, the Ultimate Edition, was released on PC. That came.
What are you talking about, dude? Command and Conquers are good.
Oh yeah,
love RTS.
Not everybody does, not everybody does. It's not everybody's cup of tea.
Man, we wouldn't have StarCraft if it wasn't for Command and Conquer.
Yeah, and StarCraft.
Command and Conquer started it all.
I swear, if Microsoft, when this deal finally closes, don't put StarCraft on Game Pass, I'm going to be pissed.
My first Command and Conquer was Red Alert on the Sega Saturn.
Red Alert 2 is still my favorite one. I love Red Alert 2.
I'm going to have to send you that N64 one that Cliff has. I'm going to have to send it to you.
But in 2012, we had another game that was released. Resident Evil 6 came out. Not one of people's favorite Resident Evils. They kind of they strayed away from the recipe that worked after 4. And I don't know. It's an okay game. I played it. I beat it back in the day, but not one of my favorite Resident Evils. But yeah, 2012, October 2nd, Resident Evil 6 was released. And then in 2018, we had 4 big games come out. Assassin's Creed Odyssey Ultimate Edition was released on the Xbox One. That came with all the DLC, everything for Assassin's Creed Odyssey.
I have 200 hours in that.
Yeah, it's a fun game.
We had the Mega Man 30th Anniversary Bundle. That got released on PS4 in 2018 on October 2nd. We also had... That's not the only Mega Man game that came out that day. Mega Man 11 was also released that day.
Ooh, God, it's a good game.
So you got the 30th Anniversary Bundle and Mega Man 11 on the same day in 2018. Pretty crazy. Big day for Mega Man.
You played Mega Man 11, Grease?
I do. I have.
Good, dude. It's good.
I have 10 and 11 on my PS3.
It's so good.
And then the last but not least, not really a game that interests me too much. Probably interests other people. Forza Horizon 4 was released on the Xbox One. That was also in 2018.
See, I don't really like the Horizon Forza. I like the regular Forza. I think it's way better.
See, I played like the Gran Turismo 3 and Gran Turismo 4, but I played one of the Forza Motorsport games for Xbox 360. That was the only one I ever played, and I haven't played one since.
I just don't like track racers.
I haven't had any issue. I haven't had any experience with the Forza series.
See, I'm not really good with cars. I don't know a bunch about cars, but my cousin is, and she would always want to play it. So whenever she would come over, we would play Forza or Gran Turismo, and like I would just race. I would just race and have fun. I'd let her customize the car and change the parts and do all that because I didn't know what I was doing. But yeah, that's what we that's this day in gaming, guys, from 1987 or 1997 to 2018. Good bit this on October 2nd. Good
a lot of great releases.
Big
Again,
day.
October is that, beginning margin for Christmas releases, so you'll find a lot of great games end up getting released.
Yeah, I have a feeling
all the kids want them for Christmas at that point.
The on this day in gamings are going to get kind of crazy here in the next couple weeks, probably.
Yeah.
But moving on, guys, we got a big strike going on in the gaming industry right now. Voice actors are on strike.
It's kind of crazy when you think about why they're going on strike. I think that's the thing that's most appalling about it all. It's not like, we're not getting paid enough situation that most people go on strike for. This time it's like it's a whole ass reason to go on strike, and I kind of agree with them on it. So
I mean, if you're not getting paid and they're still using your voice, it's kind of shit. I mean, let's be honest.
Yeah, it's not really fair. Like, you can almost look at your voice as like your own intellectual property almost, I guess.
Exactly. like
So
a
for
bit of
someone to
structure,
use your voice and you not get any compensation for that
right?
or recognition, that's wrong.
Yeah,
I guess
that's exploitation right there.
Yeah.
for the viewers that don't have a good context of what we're discussing at this point, again, a lot of voice actors that are working within the gaming industry are deciding that they might choose to go on strike because AI has gotten to a point now where you're able to replicate voices so well that you can type script or you can write an entire game script or you can use something kind of like ChatGPT to write a script for your game and then use a analyzation of your previous voice recordings from another game, or you could use automated voices from actors or singers or whatever, and then automatically have them go through the dialect of what you've written out. And then if you were to apply that into a game, you don't really need somebody to come in and record voice lines anymore. If you have something that can be done almost instantaneously, it puts you in a position where you're saving money and you're getting more product very quickly. But that's also unfair to the actors that are providing, you know, an emotional background to these dialects that have been doing it for years, and then you're just basically having your voice stripped from you without a say, and then
Here's a good example that I think everybody will be able to pick up on, that because you've all scrolled through Facebook and you've probably all seen these kind of ads. You'll scroll through and you'll see a sponsored ad and it'll be like The Rock talking and it'll sound like The Rock.
Oh yeah.
Rock, and it'll be like, the government is giving out $5,600 subsidies. But really, if you call that number, it's just someone trying to sell you insurance. And if you tell them you have insurance, they'll just hang up on you. It's a scam. But that they're using AI to do that. That's not really The Rock in that ad.
Yeah, no. Or with the or with some of the
I saw one with Ryan Reynolds in it today. I was like, what the?
I've seen a couple of like song covers where they've gotten the voice actor for SpongeBob. Like SpongeBob singing full on songs. Now, as as a amateur voice actor and impersonator, an impressionist, there we go. As an impressionist, where I do Kermit the Frog or Stitch, and I literally attempt to sing those songs in those voices, that is hard as hell. And the fact that somebody's just going and just plugging it into an AI and then just profiting off of that, it's a big slap in the face to the person who originally came up with that. Because the AI, the way that AI works, they have to have something that they base their algorithm and everything off of in the first place. So you're literally just taking work and then duplicate it. You're essentially plagiarizing a voice.
Yeah. I mean, you're stealing somebody's voice, man.
I won't dive too deep into it, but as somebody that has been doing that recently and applying vocals to vocal covers, like I've been doing it on my own personal channel. Now, I don't get monetized, so I don't feel that I'm doing wrong by the artists or by the actors by doing these things right now. But if I was at a point where I was being monetized and I was making money off of these covers and it wasn't something I was doing for fun or for the entertainment value of it, that would be like wrong of me to do to these people. Then I would also feel obligated to, if I was making money, making sure that they are making a support of the cut, because that's something that they should be entitled to.
Just recently, there was one of these guys that makes fan mangas on YouTube, and he was using AI to get the voices from the anime show, and so he could do voiceovers for like his paneled manga on his YouTube videos. And all his videos got taken down. I'm not going to say who it is. I don't want to get anyone in trouble. But like that, it's crazy what you can do with AI now.
And from a technical standpoint, it's like you said, Grease. Like, there's an analysis to it, and I had to do a large amount of investigation into this rabbit hole on the programs that are being used, the analysis and how much of the vocal recording prior to it is needed. And let me tell you right now, all you need is 10 minutes of audio and you can strip somebody's voice and have them doing whatever you want. It's that easy.
Yeah, it's
that's
sickening.
Insane, man. That's insane. 10 minutes.
That's the direction. That's the direction we're going. There's people making AI like Chat GP YouTube channels and making $30,000 a month right now just off AI.
Oh yeah, they do it all the time on TikTok. Like just straight AI voiced over things now. It's crazy.
It's going in that direction.
while it is like right now, like at a point of it being mostly, and I say mostly delicately, used for entertainment, there is again a very scary direction that this can be used in for the usage of, again, falsifying advertisements, or in even worse and more delicate situations, people that are being pretended to be held, or pretended, I don't know how I would say this, but being held as hostage.
You're on trial, fake phone call recordings.
Oh yeah,
all types of stuff.
It can get crazy.
Because if you get a call, you get a call from your daughter and they're screaming for help and that they need $10,000, and then you call up your daughter on her phone and she's like, no, I'm at the bank and I'm just like paying my bills, or I'm at school. You're like, fuck, I just got a call from somebody that said you're held in Dubai and I got to pay them $10,000, otherwise they're gonna off your head. You know what I mean? Like that's like
cancel that check.
Yeah.
The worst part is that if they get sophisticated enough where you get a scammer or somebody else is talking to you, trying to basically kind of string you along on basically it could be a multiple hit scam where they're talking and trying to get you into one thing and you keep telling them, no, I don't want this, all the time. They could be analyzing your voice to then use it for a future scam. It's kind of scary to think about.
So I can understand why they are going on strike, because again, there's got to be a direction where either AI is going to be better controlled in these situations. Mm-hmm. And again, if they're going to be using it for the purposes of video games, like the companies are directing at this point, there needs to be a monetization property for their intellectual value, for their voice alone. You can't just use their voice without something. Exactly.
Royalties.
Almost the same as like music. Like when you use music in like your movie or your show, like you have to get the licensing and pay for that. Yeah. So if you're going to use some voice actor's voice in your show or, your game and not actually have them come in and record it, you should still have to get a license to use their voice, and they should be compensated for it.
I agree. Mm-hmm. Especially for the actors that come up with some iconic characterization voices.
Yeah.
Where you gotta give them due credit. For sure. The original people that came up with that character voice.
Yeah, a lot of iconic voices that now you can just replicate them.
Mm-hmm. They do it all the time.
Scary easy. Yeah.
Like you see it all the time in like the deep fakes and stuff you'll see on like YouTube and stuff. Like Arnold Schwarzenegger ones and stuff like that. Like you see you see the Schwarzenegger ones all the time. It's all over the place.
All the time.
But the whole voice actor thing in gaming, and I don't blame them for them. If they go on strike and they refuse to work, I don't blame them at all. But moving on, Sony got hacked, guys. And this is not the first time. It probably won't be the last time. This seems to be a recurring thing with Sony.
Every couple of years.
Yeah, I think it just happened last year. The store was down for like a week last year, wasn't it?
Yeah, that and the 30-day span back in 2011. And I'm sure there's been other periods in time where they've had, unannounced hackings where they've just kind of slid it under the carpet. But here we are again.
Slapped a quick fix on it. And...
They're investigating right now, guys, though. The whole entire Sony line is under attack right now, but we're investigating. They better be fucking doing something more than investigating.
Yeah, I guess any Sony console you own that is connected via internet is in danger at the moment.
Yeah.
So if you own a PlayStation console and you're not currently using it, I would remove my account from the online structure and make sure that you have updated pins and passwords for your credit card use, because that's the main concern of these things, is that if they get your account information, they'll have access to your credit card information if you store it on the system. So make sure you're safeguarding your people.
Yeah, keep your personal information safe. Get it off of there before something bad happens. You don't want to wake up one morning and just find out your entire savings and checking account has been emptied.
Yeah, tip-wise, the whole saving your accounts, not necessarily the smartest thing. Yeah, you may be saving yourself about 10 minutes of typing stuff in, but that 10 minutes could hurt you in the long run.
I would rather someone, take my account permanently and have all the games I bought digitally than for them to have access to my fucking credit card or my debit card.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You can have the fucking 15 games on my fucking PlayStation, but the money in my bank is my money. Don't touch it.
Yep.
Exactly.
Sony's. I don't know what they're gonna do about this. I haven't heard too much about where this is going.
At the time, they only report again that there's been 8,000 accounts that have apparently been held hostage towards the usage of the whatever requirements the hackers are there demanding. But again, Sony's investigating at this time, so whatever that might entail, make sure you're not a part of the 8,000. Unlink your account, especially if you're not using it. You can always just sign back in at a later time.
All right. Honestly, I would only put your credit card information in when you're gonna like buy something off the store, and then don't save it.
Yep.
Yeah.
Don't
Yeah.
save it. Use it
First
when you
draft.
need it.
Smartest way.
Don't take that risk.
Or you could give it to me.
Yeah, just give it to Made 'em Wrecked. He'll keep it safe for you.
Made him Rex one of the hackers, guys.
We'll just have the occasional guitar purchase or an effects pedal.
Here or there, you won't even notice.
All right, guys. Guys, we're gonna do a play it or throw it away this week. We got a play it or throw it away for you. It's been a couple weeks since we did one of these. This week we are gonna be doing the Game Boy and Game Boy Color. And
Love it.
we got 8 games on a wheel. We're gonna spin this wheel. We're gonna see what we get, and we're gonna get this started. First game's a doozy, boys. Tetris.
I'll go ahead and start. We're going to 1,000% play this. We still play this daily. Every day of my life, I play this game. Literally. I've probably got 1 million hours of Tetris in my life. And there's not much better game for anxiety and just relaxing than Tetris. That's all I got to say.
I've sat in here and watched you play Tetris 99 in VC for hours on end.
Yeah, I've seen you play a lot of it.
I play every day. Every day.
I'll also play Tetris. I have to play this. Tetris was one of the first games I played back in the day. And what's funny is I don't think I played it on the Game Boy first. I think I originally played it on NES before I played it on a Game Boy. But I did eventually get a copy for Game Boy. But yeah, Tetris is just one of those games where like every time you fuck up or you fail, you just want to start it over and try again. Just start it up again. Start it up again. Start it up again. You can't stop.
Beat these lines. If I can beat this many lines.
It had that addictive gameplay to it, where it's just one of those games where it's like, man, 300 lines, I can do better, and you load it up again. But yeah, I play it. I play it 100%.
I'm playing it. There's no doubt. I'm playing Tetris. It's a iconic. Give me a gamer who has not played Tetris, and I would. Well, I guess some of the newer gamers they may not actually be playing Tetris. Though with Tetris 99 coming out, there's probably a new wave of Tetris players that have.
I would imagine
joined the ranks. But it's just one of those games, and eventually you play it so much you start using those like spatial awareness skills that you learned in real life.
Yeah. You'll be like stacking boxes on a pallet and you'll be like, hold on, I know the best way to do this.
I use Tetris every day of my life. Every day.
As somebody who helped I actually helped my wife move down to Florida for a college internship for Disney, and she had a Volkswagen Beetle convertible. We had that thing completely packed. I am a 6'6" person, so it's hard just shoving myself into there as well. Not to mention having enough to basically fill, like a dorm room full of stuff for somebody to be down there for 7 months.
Yeah, I did a similar thing when I played in the band. We had 2 SUVs, my Blazer and my buddy's Blazer. He had a newer Blazer than me, but almost the same amount of room. And we had a full setup. Like we had a full PA, 4 subwoofers, 2 giant tops,
Yeah.
We all had half stacks. Bassist had a full fucking rig. We had, you know, 4 mic stands, drum mics, and we'd fit the drums, the whole PA, and 2 SUVs, and it was literally Tetris. We had to stack everything just right, and we got good at it. After like the second or third time we did it, every show we put it in these SUVs the same exact way every time because we knew exactly how to fit everything perfectly.
Yep.
And if it wasn't for Tetris, wouldn't have been able to do that.
It would have been a lot harder.
Well, I gotta be that guy. I'm gonna give you a couple of things here so you don't fall out of your chair.
Fucking
okay.
You don't do it.
Tetris has one of the best soundtracks. I absolutely like just the dun, 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 like iconic. I fucking love it. Honestly, I am gonna throw it away though. I got a couple of reasons that make it okay. So within that year when it came out and I got it on Game Boy Color, I was like 6. So like if I'm gonna be honest, there were other games that I was gonna play way before I would play Tetris. It was just like it's stacking blocks, and when you're like 6, you're like, this isn't enough. Like it's not enough entertainment. As I got older, there were other titles that came out that were like Tetris or like Tetris releases that came out afterwards. I would say, yeah, I'd play it because they were more fun for me. Like again, Tetris Attack or Tetris. What was the color? Tetris Effect. Again, there were just other versions of it that I found more enjoyable. But if I'm gonna play it on Game Boy, I'll throw it away.
Poor Tetris.
That's it, man. Russians are gonna be knocking on my door next week.
I'm going to be knocking on your door next week. What are you talking about? What are you talking about?
Just broke Toon's heart.
Kid's going to be there with the
I was watching this cam. I saw all 6 stages of disappointment.
It was. I got it out of me.
All right, guys. Our second title for the Game Boy and Game Boy Color is going to be Pokemon Puzzle Challenge.
And this is why I threw away Tetris. Because games like this came out, and I found that this was more enjoyable for me at that age time. Again, it's very much like Tetris. You are aligning the bricks left and right so that you can change the colors, and then they drop and stack, and you build up shapes. And when you get enough shapes or combos off of the shapes falling, you would attack the Pokemon that you're versing. So it had another dynamic to it that made it feel like you were still playing Tetris, but it was just, again, more layers to make it more enjoyable. And it was, Pokemon. So I play it all day. Love it.
Anyone
you
else?
alive?
I'm gonna throw it away because I never played it. I was playing Tetris during this time. It was a much funner and addictive game than if I want to play Pokemon, I'm going to play Pokemon Red. I'm going to play Pokemon. I'm going to play regular Pokemon. I'm not going to play a damn. What was it called?
Pokemon what? Challenge, man.
Puzzle
Challenge.
Yeah,
I'm not, Tetris.
I'm not playing it. I'm gonna play regular Pokemon, and then I'm gonna play Tetris. Throw it away. Throw it in the dumpster. Like burn it to the ground.
Not hard to tell. Somebody's holding some resentment.
I'm actually gonna throw this one away just because I've never played it. I mean, it sounds like almost like a Dr. Mario type deal.
Kind of.
Yeah.
Dr. Mario.
Play Dr. Mario
or Dr. Robotnik's Mean Bean Machine.
Go play Dr. Mario.
It's not the same. They don't fall from the top, right? The blocks layer up from the bottom.
Yeah, I've never played it. So since I don't know anything really much about Pokemon Puzzle Challenge, I'm just gonna let this one go.
I mean, that's the reason I'm throwing it away. Really, I was just messing with Rick. I've never played it, so I'm throwing it away.
He's mad.
I haven't played it either. And well, by never playing it, between Tetris or the Pokemon Puzzle Challenge, I'd go Tetris. So sorry, it's getting tossed.
You guys got to give it a try, man. You might change your tune. It's a great game.
I'll look for it.
If I find it for $2, I'll buy it. And
if you can get it for $2, that's a damn good deal.
Yeah, I've never played it. I'll have to check that out. But our next game, this is gonna be an easy one. Super Mario 2. It's the 6 golden coins. I'll go ahead and start. I play this. I mean, it's a Mario game. Come on, I play all the Mario games. It's a given at this point. I'm a Mario speedrunner. You put a Mario game in front of me, I want to find a way to beat it the quickest way possible. And I just enjoy the platforming of Mario games. So, I mean, even the Wario games they had it for the Game Boy were good. So, Mario 2, 6 golden coins, playing it.
I'm gonna play it because it has like a really big spot in my heart. In that same time frame that I got Tetris, I also got this game. So like I ended up playing this a lot more because again, like it was like my second Mario game that I ever had. So I ended up putting a lot of time into it trying to beat it, and it was actually a lot harder, I find, than some of the other Mario titles that came out for like the NES and SNES, because the gravity system in this game is a whole other monster. Unfortunately, it doesn't hold the weight that the other ones do, so there's a lot of float to it, and the polygons and the pixel like shapes were never that accurate, so you would like get clipped by something if you weren't like picture perfect between getting in between spaces. It was almost the hitboxes were terrible, but again, the level design and what it was for a Game Boy game, again, it still makes it a play. It's a good game.
We're going to 100% play it. I've beaten this game quite a few times. All you gotta do is get the carrot, guys. Get the carrot, and it's easy mode all the way to the end. But no, what I love about this game is it introduced Wario. This is where Wario came from. He was the final boss, and Wario, this was his first appearance in Nintendo Universe. And he's a hard boss. Like, it literally, the game is kind of easy all the way until you get to Wario's castle.
Didn't you play this and beat it on stream not too long ago?
Yeah, I beat it on stream.
I thought so.
And once you get to Wario's castle, it's like 6 levels, and if you die on the 5th level, you go back to the beginning. So you gotta you have to master it. You have to master it, and because everything's a different stage and stuff. I just love this game. It has different little you go into like different little worlds. You go inside like what is it like a star world, and yes, you want to talk about the gravity in that one. Oh my god, that's space world. Oh my god. But yeah, we're playing. I love that game. Fucking absolutely love it.
I'd be playing it. Like you guys have said, if you're a Mario fan, why wouldn't you be playing this game? I can only think of a couple of games that have Mario in the name that are just in the trash, but this one, no, it's good. It's solid.
Right on. So we all 4 played that one, Mario.
No dissension there.
No, you can't put Mario down. All right, next game is Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 2: Back from the Sewers. Who would like to start?
I'm throwing it.
This one off.
I'll go first because I already threw it, so I'll explain why. I just ruined your day, so let me throw out a reason why. I'm getting good at this one today. When I play any of the TMNT games, again, like I kind of like the option of where you're choosing your characters and the level designs are usually okay. But the one that came out on the Game Boy, I didn't feel like ever did me any justice. I didn't play 3 or the first one, but I did play this one. And when I compare this to like Turtles in Time or Shredder's Revenge or basically any other TMNT game that's come before and after, I would rather play them. Just this one didn't cut it for me. It felt like the game was punishing me at all times. And I feel like it was because of the lack of hardware to make it run better that they just tried to slam as much as they could from those other titles into it. But it never felt fair. It always felt like the AI was always going to be able to attack me or knew what I was going to do before I even did it.
Fair enough. Like you said, I mean, even if you don't count Shredder's Revenge, since it's a newer game, and Turtles in Time was literally the best Ninja Turtle game that was out for decades. There was nothing better than Turtles in Time. That was my favorite. It was always my favorite. And I've never actually played any of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle games on the Game Boy. I'd be willing to give them a try, but I think now that I've been spoiled with Shredder's Revenge and Turtles in Time, and even like the NES ones, like the first two on the NES, which are hard, really hard.
The very first one is near impossible.
Those games are tough. I would have a hard time going back and playing it on the Game Boy. I'm sure if I was a kid and I had it, I probably would have played it. But right now, I'm probably going to throw it away just based on the fact that I could just go play Shredder's Revenge or Turtles in Time. Hell, I'd even play the NES ones over a Game Boy version of it.
Yeah, I'm throw this one away. This one sucks. I'm gonna be quite honest with you. Look. The first one, the Follow the Foot, I think was the first one on the Game Boy. It's not bad. It's decent for a Game Boy game. This one, on the other hand, it's like they just said, "Here, we're gonna take everything we did good from the first one and just throw it in the garbage." Like everything is worse. It's oh god. Each turtle has their own strengths and weaknesses, and you got to figure that out for the stages. But it's like a half-assed shit of it, and it's just no. I played it because I got that Ninja Turtle collection on the Switch, where you can play all them.
It's on
there. I went on there and played it for a little bit after because I beat the first one on stream, and then I went and tried to beat that one. God, the game's so bad. I gave up. Trash.
A lot of anger.
Well, I was going to. Well, no, I'll still keep my original thing as I'm going to play it mainly because I haven't played it yet, and I'm a Turtles fan, so I'm going to give it the good old college try. I'll give it a shot.
Good luck. Yeah. Good luck, Grease.
Good luck.
And I have the Cowabunga collection, so it will be something I am going to go experience, and then I'll probably end up regretting my choices at that point.
I was unaware that the Game Boy games were on the Cowabunga collection.
Yeah, all three. Yeah, all three of them are.
All right, our next game is Final Fantasy Adventure.
I'm playing it. It's a Final Fantasy. There's no way that I'm not playing it.
Hey, I'm playing
it for me.
I'm playing it. I own that game. I've had it since I was a kid. I've got my original copy. I've beat it a couple times. It's Zelda Final Fantasy. Like, if you like Zelda, you're gonna like this because it's basically Zelda Final Fantasy.
Yeah,
and it's great. The dungeons are great. The sprites are great. Everything's good in it. Everything's good. I love it.
I don't think there's ever been a Final Fantasy game that I've actually batted an eye to besides maybe the MMO one. What was that? 14?
14, yeah.
That's the only one.
14 and 11.
Was 11 an MMO?
Yeah. 11 was an MMO as well.
Yeah, those are the only two. Like, I don't like the MMO versions of those games, but all the Final Fantasies, love them. I would play any of them, even the Game Boy ones. Even the Tactics, like those games are good.
Oh, I love the Tactics.
Yeah, they're so good. But yeah, definitely a play. I've been a Final Fantasy fan my whole life. It's literally, other than like Dragon Warrior and Pokemon, it's what got me into playing RPGs in the first place. So yeah, I'm playing this 100%.
Here it comes.
Bring on the anger. I'm throwing it away. You said it even earlier. Why would I play Pokemon Puzzle if I can play Tetris? Why would I play Final Fantasy Adventure if I can just play Zelda?
This is true.
Touche. I don't know.
Honestly,
there's different elements in this one.
Elements. Different elements in the other one. But I will say, again, as far as Final Fantasy games go, like if I'm going to play Final Fantasy, I'm not going to play any of the games that came out in that style, the top-down style. Not because like they're not good or not that they don't have a good storyline, but it's just like I've grown past them, and as far as Final Fantasy has been treated in the years that came afterwards, like I would go back and revisit 7 I would probably play 7's remake. I would even consider playing 16. Maybe I would go back and play. Is it 10? 10 it had X1 and X2, right?
Yeah,
there's
10 and
10-1,
10-2.
10-2.
I would consider going back and playing those ones, but
I think
honestly,
13 had multiple parts too.
13 had 3.
Yeah.
But I just, again, I'm not going to go back to the Sprite ones. They're so much, traveling in between here and there and all the grinding and everything else that comes with it. It just doesn't feel like it's enough payoff for me.
I'm going to stream that game next week just for you.
It's a nostalgia thing for me. I grew up playing those games. But we're going to go ahead and spin again, see what we get. We got 2 games left.
Dun dun dun.
And it's going to be Zelda Link's Awakening DX.
I've played it. I've enjoyed it.
I mean, if you're not going to play this, just throw your Game Boy away. You don't deserve one.
If you're not going to play this, go ahead and leave this chat and never play video games again.
I think we can all agree that we all play this. I mean, this is one of the best Zelda games they ever made, and it was on the Game Boy. You could just play it on the go. I mean,
this storyline alone on it's awesome.
It is.
I mean,
like if you were a kid who, for whatever reason, didn't have a Super Nintendo and didn't get a chance to play like A Link to the Past, like this is a really great opportunity to be able to play it, and you could again play it under your bed sheets. You could play it on the bus. You could play it on the way home from school. You could play it at your Aunt Teresa's house that you didn't want to be at because your mom dragged you there. You know what I mean? Like it was a thing where it was like it was always available, and it was a great game. All the power-ups you get, again, great storyline.
The dungeons were fun.
Yep.
They were a lot of fun.
It was like Link's Awakening on the Game Boy. Like, well, not Link's Awakening, Link to the Past on the Game Boy. That's what I meant to say. And like I had Link to the Past before I ever played Link's Awakening. And then when I had the Game Boy and I got Link's Awakening, I was like, this is just like A Link to the Past. This is amazing. And I loved it. And 2 of my favorite Zelda games to this day are those 2.
Mm-hmm. You need to play that remake. You need to play that remake, Nick.
Yeah, I need to get the remake. I haven't tried that yet.
It's so good.
But I think it's safe to say we all 4 play Link's Awakening.
Yep.
It's a must play for everybody. And our last game, I don't even have to spin because it's the last game on the wheel, is Harvest Moon 3. And this isn't for everybody. I know that. But I'm going to play it because I've always been a fan of these like farming sim, build your own farm relationships with this town and build and upgrade things. I've always enjoyed those games like Stardew Valley and stuff. I'm big on those games. I don't know why. It's kind of like almost like Minecraft almost to me. Like it's almost like therapeutic. It just, you're accomplishing something and it feels good, but there's no pressure. You're not worried about dying to an enemy. I'm trying to make more money. I'm trying to get my crops to grow. And I don't know. It's one of those games where you can just sit back and relax and play it, and there's no stress. You're just chilling. And I loved it. I played all the Harvest Moons back in the day. And when Stardew Valley came out, I loved it. It had those vibes. So yeah, I definitely play Harvest Moon 3.
I throw that away. I throw it away every day of the week. But I'll also say it didn't have to be Harvest Moon. It could have been Animal Crossing. It could have been Stardew Valley. It could have been any of these Farmville style games, man. They're all getting the toss from me because,
like I said, it's not for everybody.
It's not for everybody, and that's the thing, right? Like it's just like there's no real I feel story that gives you an A to Z. It's just like, here, man, you got some land, you got some money, go do this and just have yourself a good old time. If I want to do that, again, there are other titles that kind of fill that void for me. There's, again, ARPGs do the same thing for me, except instead of going around and digging up grass, I'm bashing in a zombie's head. But at the end of the day, It's just not my title.
Yeah, like I said, it's not for everybody. Not everybody enjoys it.
It's going straight into the dumpster. I do not like those types of games. If I want to work, and I'll just live real life. If I want to farm and do all that, I mean, the hell? I mean, it's like I literally tried to play Animal Crossing and I fell asleep. I was like, this sucks. I can't stand those games. If it don't have any action to it, I'm not playing it. Goodbye.
I'd play it. I'm a fan of Stardew Valley. I like Minecraft and actually like setting up the crops and other stuff. There is a sense of just zen, with playing it.
Therapeutic in a way.
Yeah. So I haven't played that one, but I have played other Harvest Moons. And though I do like Stardew Valley because the nice thing about Stardew Valley is that it's got the dungeon system with the caves and that. So there's between the two, I'd pick Stardew over Harvest Moon, but I would give it a shot. Yeah.
2 out of 4. I'll take it. It's not for everybody.
It's got to know your audience. That's all.
Me and Rex are over here like, nah, we're good, bud. We're good.
I had a
Sleep Simulator 2023.
I had a feeling it was going to go that route.
My wife's put 1,000 hours in Animal Crossing. And I'm like, how? Oh.
But that's it. That's it for our Play It or Throw It Away this week, guys. That was our Game Boy edition.
I think it's ironic. I have the Animal Crossing Switch, and I got the cartridge that came with the game. I gave it away.
Yeah, I gave my copy away. I gave it to her mom. I was like, here, I don't want this.
Yeah, we had an interesting array of titles for the Game Boy. I'm surprised none of the like mainline Pokemon games got picked. Kind of crazy.
I mean, it would have been an automatic play, but
yeah. Fair enough. But let's get into this Game of the Year discussion. So I have a YouTube video coming out very soon. It might already be out by the time this podcast is released. Discussing a little bit of the Game of the Year. We got a lot of titles this year that could be in the running. A lot that might get nominated, but we probably all can agree one that is probably going to win it. But let's talk about some of the other titles that you think might get nominated.
For nomination alone, I can think off the top of my head, like, again, there have been, this year alone, just to put it out there, for if we miss your game, again, there's been a great year of games that have come out, so don't take any offense to it, again, if we don't think about your title.
The competition this year in gaming is rough.
It's hard. Nintendo had a absolutely killer year, again, with the Metroid Prime remaster, then they've had the Zelda, then they have the Mario 7 Stars, they have Wonder. They've got, again, game after game after game this year. They absolutely knocked the socks off the Switch players. And that's not even taking into consideration all the other amazing AAA titles that also came out outside of it.
They went hard this year. Nintendo was not messing around.
Nope.
And I mean, all the companies kind of did big things this year. We had a couple of flops, games that were built up to be big hitters that kind of flopped on their butts.
Redfall
happens every year. For instance, a game that I don't think would have got nominated or had a chance, Diablo 4. That game hyped all the hell and back, and it came out just a heaping pile of crap.
I mean, yeah, like it's again, it had so much marketing and all of this, time and development put into it, and it feels so lackluster.
Yeah. Like by the time you hit level 60 or so, you feel like you've done everything there is to do.
Yeah. And with most of the classes being unplayable at times, and then the other classes usually having like a strict guide to it, being like, okay, well, you got to play this way, or you're not going to be able to get up to this tier, or you're not going to be able to play to this, background. It's like, well,
there's no
kind of limits your options. Yeah.
There was no build diversity. You either went with what was meta or you sucked.
And the end game options were basically two things. So it wasn't like you were going into it with all this after time to play. Once you beat the campaign, if you weren't into it, if you weren't really into the ARPG grind at the end of maximizing your character, that was it. You're done.
Yeah, you'd get bored really quick because it literally you'd have nightmare dungeons and hell tides. That was really all there was for you to do. And the nightmare dungeons always had, stupid affixes on them. And there was not, and the ones that had bosses, it was like the same 2 or 3 bosses, and you just keep fighting those same bosses over and over and over and over again. No difference between any fights. There was no like mechanics to the bosses where you had to dodge their attacks or play them a certain way, or you would just go in there and DPS yourself out, and they die.
Apply a CC and then stack on, vulnerability and then hit them 3 times and you were done. Or, again, the world events were dog shit. You had 3 world bosses that you would get in there, and then somebody else would be so powerful that you wouldn't even really be, like, fighting together. You'd be depending on the one guy to go in there and slam them twice and be like, hey, we all won! But you didn't really do anything. You just stood there and waited for your reward. Like,
yeah. And I think at the end of the day, even if that game came out full-fledged, had, 60 different bosses and a whole bunch of stuff to do in endgame and,
yeah, I mean, it was never going to win.
It's such a niche genre, a niche game. Maybe it gets nominated. I doubt it.
I still think it'll get nominated, to be honest with you. Just because it was so hyped, it'll put it on there.
Nah, I don't think so.
I don't think so. And obviously I am, living, breathing proof that I wholly believe that Diablo is an amazing game as far as the series goes. I don't ever think that it's going to hit the Game of the Year nomination. It's just not that game.
As far as I'm concerned, Diablo 2 is still the best one.
It is. Diablo 2
hands down
destroys 4.
I mean, 3 got better over time. It took it a long time to get good, but 2 is still my favorite. But yeah, I don't think it has a chance. What were some other games? Spider-Man 2 is going to be probably in the running.
I can almost guarantee it will get a nominee.
Yeah. That's like PlayStation's title of the year. And the first Spider-Man game, Miles Morales and all that all well received. People are hyped for this one. I have no doubt it's getting in the nominees.
I know the whole aspect of having to buy a console to play one game is an often pain in the ass. But again, when it's bread and butter, again, that game is going to do well, whether or not the other, platforms and the players are on that platform agree or not. Because again, the Spider-Man games as a whole are really well put together for what they are, even if it is a copy and paste between, the games and there's not a lot of change. The story that they provide in the game, much like other ones that Sony puts out, is enough for people to want to return in the first place. And then the tiny little things that they add, they make it sure that the marketing surrounding them pushes the point of being like, this is why this is amazing, and people will eat that shit up.
Yep.
But basically they're just getting the same web shooting around the city side mission game. It's just it's the same old Spider-Man. It's a great game. It's
not broken.
And the only thing really holding it back is the fact that it is an exclusive. But you got to look at all these other consoles like Nintendo and Xbox. They have their exclusives. I mean, Gears of War, fucking Halo.
When's one of those coming out?
The Mario. I'd love to see a new Gears of War game. We haven't had a Gears of War game in a while.
Yeah,
it's been a hot minute.
5 was the last one.
Yeah.
And those games were beautiful even back then. Imagine what they would look like now.
True.
Other titles I can think of off the top of my head are Baldur's Gate 3.
Yeah.
Again,
that would be
a niche game. Very niche.
Forerunner.
I guarantee it gets nominated. There's absolutely zero chance it doesn't, because again, any game that gets 10 out of 10.
Critics, just based off critic reviews and media, it's getting nominated.
Yeah, it's getting nominated 100%.
I'm actually kind of thinking Armored Core 6. I mean, that is a beautiful looking game.
Now, I actually talked about that a little bit in my video. I think let's put it this way. Elden Ring was made by FromSoft. That game was well received because it was an open world game. It really opened up the general public to the Souls style gameplay, combat, and plus it was open world. You could go anywhere you want, doing. I think when it comes to Armored Core, I don't think it's on that level game of the year. I think it's more of a niche market. There are a lot of people that love the Armored Core games, but I don't think it's kind of like Baldur's Gate, like the turn-based style combat. That's not for everybody.
Mm-mm.
True. Yeah, I can see that.
I think that it doesn't matter, again, in a lot of cases for game of the year, if your game is like, if it's not open to a large majority of different demographics between youth or the open ability to play or the longevity of what that game provides, it's going to make your fight towards being the top title of the year a lot harder. And that's what I think separates Baldur's Gate and Armored Core for this year, is because there are other titles that were more open to larger age
Just
gaps.
better accessibility.
Yeah.
Larger audience overall.
Because again, I don't know a lot of kids that were growing up between like 6 to 15 that were like, "Mom, you got to go down to GameStop today and get me Armored Core 6." Now, I know a lot of 25-year-olds and 30-year-olds that were probably like, "I'm going down to GameStop and getting that game today," because they've already played other previous titles. But
yeah,
it's harder for a lot of the newer comer players to these series to be like adapted into them as day one buyers. And that, while it doesn't play necessarily into why it's not a great game, it is going to play a huge part of why it might not get Game of the Year.
Yeah, and we're like, for anybody listening or watching, we're not saying it's a bad game.
No, by no means.
We're just saying it's a niche game that doesn't have a large enough audience to justify it being Game of the Year.
Yeah,
so, like, you have to think of it this way: you have a 5-year-old son. You hand him a copy of Baldur's Gate 3 and tell him to go ahead and play it. He has no clue what he's doing or what's going on. You hand him a copy of Mario Wonder. The boy's going to have a blast.
Oh, he's going to have a blast.
Yeah.
It's just that age range accessibility. Like, I'm 36 years old. You hand me a copy of Mario Wonder, I'm going to have a blast. The same as that 5-year-old would.
I'm giggling right now just thinking about playing it right now. It ain't even out yet.
My balls are tingling.
Yeah. I'm like, woo, man, I'm ready.
But yeah, and I think so far we have Armored Core 6, we got Baldur's Gate, we got Spider-Man 2,
Hogwarts Legacy, man, sold a lot of copies. People loved it.
I thought
you gotta throw it in there. You gotta throw it in there.
Hogwarts.
Yeah.
Harry Potter's pretty popular too, so I think
that as far as the game goes, the only reason why that one doesn't hit the same level as these other titles is because of all the technical issues that came along with it, a lot of scrutiny that came with it because of things surrounding the creator of Harry Potter as a whole. So I think that there's a few reasons why we won't see that one be Game of the Year, but I think that as far as Harry Potter games go, that one really hit the market well, and there was a lot of positive, player base that came out of it. Again, the Twitch people ate that up. They were absolutely off the market. So again, great game for them. I think that as far as Game of the Year contender, maybe gets a nomination. I wouldn't say it doesn't get nominated. I think that there's a good, strong possibility of it being on there.
I could see it having a chance because Harry Potter's another one of those things where it's like young kids to adults like Harry Potter. So
yep.
But the other game I was thinking of, Remnant 2. What do you guys think of Remnant 2? Do you think it gets in the talk of Game of the Year? No. I haven't played it.
I think it's a great game. It looks super fun.
Yeah, it looks beautiful, and I do like those roguelike dungeon crawlers. So I think I would enjoy it. I'm just not a big shooter guy, so I don't. I'd enjoy it for a set amount of time and then get bored with it.
I think that one falls into the same issue with a lot of other ones about it being niche. I also think that the fact that it holds so much violence behind it doesn't allow children to be the central audience that is being directed towards it. So now you've got a game that's kind of outside of a whole area of player base, and you got to take into consideration that it didn't really get marketed that well. Like, I did see some commercials that were out for it, but again, if the game's not being marketed correctly, then you're missing a huge amount of audience that could have been brought into it.
And from what I've seen, it's not as fun if you don't have people to play with. It's the multiplayer is where it's at with a game like that, from what I can tell.
Mm-hmm.
But speaking of multiplayer, let's get off that topic and go to a single player game. Starfield. I think Starfield.
No,
I think
it's a niche game too.
I think it, maybe gets it. I mean, just based off popularity of it and how it was hyped up, maybe it gets nominated, but I don't think it has a chance of winning.
No,
I can see a nomination, but not an actual award.
I can guarantee a nomination because, again, just how much was, put into the game, and like the fact that there's so much exploration and all of the aspects of, the Fallout and like Elder Scrolls series being kind of adapted into a space game. It's going to get a nomination at the very least, but again, technical mishaps and everything else about like the mass audience being directed to older, children, teenagers, and adults being there, it leaves it missing a huge margin of people that can be able to play it. So I don't see it winning.
All right, so we all know what the last nomination is going to be, and it's Tears of the Kingdom. The Zelda Tears of the Kingdom.
Yeah.
Easily, that's nominated. We don't even have to question it. It's going to be on the list. So if you guys want to make a poll in Tune's chat, we got Tears of the Kingdom, Baldur's Gate 3.
There.
We got Spider-Man 2 and Starfield. I think those are probably the 4 nominees.
I would like to inject one more. Just because I know Tunes would agree with me. I do think that Mortal Kombat 1 has a pretty good case of being nominated as well.
Yeah.
Because while it is niche, it was really, really positively reviewed, and it does, again...
I'm going to tell you right now, Mortal Kombat 1 has taken over my favorite Mortal Kombat of all time.
When it comes to fighting games and Game of the Year, they have, they have a bad history.
Yeah. I don't think it wins.
A fighting game
nomination,
hasn't won.
but
it might get nominated, but a fighting game hasn't won Game of the Year since I'd actually have to look it up. I don't even know.
I don't know.
I don't even has one even won? I don't think it's ever won one.
No.
You got to think it's a niche market too, man.
It really is.
But there have been niche games to win Game of the Year. I mean, look at Borderlands. The original Borderlands. That was Game of the Year.
Yeah. Elder Scrolls was Game of the Year. So you never know.
I think it's all about the time frame of the releases, and again, what is your competition for that year? Because sometimes, there's just going to be standout winners each year. That's why, again, when you look at the years where we have a Zelda release, or we have a Mario release, or we have a God of War release, it makes it a lot harder for any other game in that time frame, because there's just so much put into these individual titles, and the years that come between and to the next one, that you have your time in between that margin, those years while you're waiting for the next title, but it's always going to be a fight for number one. And that's why
fighting games have never won Game of the Year.
No. But I think that it's an obvious.
I didn't think so either.
No.
As far as Game of the Year goes,
nominated, though. I could see it getting nominated.
I see it probably getting nominated.
They usually have 5 or 6 nominees.
Yeah.
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 I think the winner this year is an obvious one. I think that most of you guys are going to agree.
We all agree already. We already know. We don't even have to say it.
It's unspoken.
I'll go ahead and I'll spit it out for everybody in the back. Zelda Tears of the Kingdom is hands down Game of the Year. No ifs, ands, or buts. It is accessible to everybody. You could hand that to a 5-year-old or a 40-year-old. They're both going to enjoy it. and it was just a well-designed game. It came out fairly bugless. There weren't a lot of hiccups, some frame issues, but it's running on 6-year-old hardware. What do you expect? And the game was just fun. New mechanics, new powers. The shrines were way more fun with the new powers.
They were.
The building stuff. Like I on Breath of the Wild, I dreaded going in a shrine half the time. I was like, man, another one. But on this one, I was like, oh, I wonder what I'm gonna have to build to beat this one.
Mm-hmm.
And
plus, they expanded the world too.
Yeah.
They gave you the depths and then also the sky islands.
It's huge.
So
and that's
way
the thing,
bigger.
man. Like the amount of things that you can do in that game are incredible. Like again, we talk about Starfield being a huge game, but it feels like an empty game. But with Zelda, when you're going through the depths, like again, you're getting into boss fights, you're collecting materials. If you're up in the sky, you're flying around, you're getting, dungeons, temples, you're getting like different horses that you're finding in the fields, you're going doing side quests, you're collecting different outfits. Like again, the list goes on and on and on. Like
you literally just get lost in the world. You'll load the game up and be like, I'm gonna go do this mission. Next thing you know, you've explored 2 islands, you did this fucking shrine. You went over here, you found this armor in this cave. Now you're down in the depths, and you're like, "Oh wait, I thought I was going to do that mission."
Oh, forgot all about it. half the time I would forget all about the mission I was doing, and I would cut it off.
Yeah, something will just catch your eye, and you'll be like, "What's that over there?" And then you go over there, and then next thing you know, you're over there, and then you see something else, and you're like, "Oh, I'm gonna."
Oh, there's another shrine.
I'm gonna glide down here, and next thing you know, you've played for 4 hours, and you never did the quest you intended to do when you loaded the game.
You're like half the map away from where you were supposed to go, and you're like, God dang it.
It's just they took Breath of the Wild and made it 100 times better.
With games that came out, like again, if I'm going to compare it to like Starfield in this instance, again, like the act of fast travel in those games feels like it's forced because like you don't want to be in space because it's just like this empty void. With Zelda, yes, fast travel was there, but you could also take your horse and you didn't feel like it was like for nothing. You could also take the sky towers and fly there and, go and get the teardrops. And then it didn't feel like it was necessary, but it was there.
Yeah, and if you chose to go on your horse or whatever, the world didn't feel empty. You were constantly running into like bokoblins or camps or little ruins or whatever along your way, and you'd be like, "Well, what's that? Oh, what?
Random
what's
NPCs."
Yeah, like you were always running into something. So like traveling on foot or by horse, it was never boring. It wasn't like you were like in Starfield when you're traveling around the planet. Like when you walk from your like the little town you landed your ship in to a waypoint on the outskirts of town, and it's like 300 yards away. You're literally just walking, and you might see like 3 little alien scorpions, and that's it. The whole walk. The rest of it's just terrain.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It just makes sense. It wins. It makes sense to me.
Yeah, I think it's hands down the winner. I don't think anything even comes close. I think the other
overall experience,
I think other games like Baldur's. If Zelda didn't come out this year, I could see Baldur's Gate winning, but Zelda came out this year.
Yeah. It's gonna win.
Yep.
In saying that, I do think it's crazy that we still have other Game of the Year contenders that are still waiting to come out.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, Mario Wonder, man, if I watched that last video, man, it is reinventing 2D Mario. I was like, wow, look at all this stuff you could do.
We might revisit this one in like January.
Yeah. Before they actually announce it.
Yeah. The year is not over, but it is fun to talk about it. Because Spider-Man 2 is not even out yet.
Nope.
No, it's not.
So we have no idea how that's going to hit.
I think the first Spider-Man was Game of the Year edition. Or Game of the Year.
I don't think it won Game of the Year.
I don't think it did either. I think it got nominated, but I don't think it got
nominated.
What year was that? 2019?
I think what makes that so confusing is because they put out Game of the Year editions, they take the fact that it's nominated, but they attack on all the DLC, right?
What year was that? Was that 2020?
I think it might have been 2019.
Yeah, that was the year Sekiro won. Yeah, God of War won in 2018. 2019 it was Sekiro. 2020, it was The Last of Us Part 2. And then I can't remember who the last two were.
Elden Ring.
God of War. Oh,
well, last year was Elden Ring. What was 2021? I can't remember what was before Elden Ring.
There wasn't much in 2021. That was the problem. What did come out in 2021?
COVID Part 2.
I thought Elden Ring was 2021.
Elden Ring was last year.
Yeah. COVID Part 2 came out.
Yeah. It was everybody's favorite game. Wear the mask.
I guess it depends on the category.
No, overall game of the year.
Oh, It Takes Two won it.
In 2021?
Yeah, It Takes Two won it. That's right.
That's
makes right.
Sense. That makes sense.
It was a surprise because there wasn't nothing that came out in 2021, and it was like the only game that was cool that you could play with a significant other or something like that. And that game was awesome, man. The game's freaking amazing.
Yeah, we still got some time before the Game Awards this year, so Mario Wonder's coming out. There's still some, Spider-Man 2. We're gonna see how that gets received, and you never know. Nintendo's bound to shadow drop maybe another Metroid game before the end of the year. Wouldn't shock me.
Yeah, right.
I mean,
waiting for new hardware.
They've already said they're doing a remaster of Prime 2, but they're not doing like a complete overhaul remaster like they did for the first Prime.
Yeah,
I could see that dropping by the end of the year. I don't think it makes game of the year or anything, but it's fun little note. We could get another Metroid before Christmas.
So what's everybody's game of the year so far?
Yeah, your personal game of the year.
I have a really offbeat game for game of the year. It's not a contender. It's not going to be a contender. But I really enjoyed Hi-Fi Rush. It was such an offbeat game because it was we were talking about it in the this day in gaming. Like we all have that immediate shock back to like a motocross game, but it's the same thing for me with this one with like Jet Set Radio or Tony Hawk Pro Skater and again it just took roller skates, skateboarding, biking, parkour, and there was some like attacking elements all on top of this beautiful cell shaded world with a great funky jazzy soundtrack. Again, it hit the system for me because like it's just something that it doesn't need to be a multi-billion-dollar game for it to be an enjoyable game. And
it doesn't have to be a AAA title.
It's just a really fun title, especially for like if you just want to do something monotonously, like going around and just doing tricks and stuff and stacking up a combo. It's fun to do when you can switch off 4 different extreme sports. You're not confined to one thing. It's a good game.
Grease?
Yeah. Mine's actually going to be actually along a similar route as Mate's, with the whole of like throwback to Jet Set Radio. I'm going with Bomb Rush Cyberpunk.
Ooh.
Because Bomb Rush Cyberpunk was a love letter to Jet Set Radio Future. They even got the same composer to do the music for that game. It's got the same shell shading style, the graphics. You're running around the city, dropping the graffiti. It hits you so well. You're on skateboards, running, BMX. It's nearly the same thing, like what Mate was saying with. So mine's just a same coin, different face.
I fucked up my game. That was the game I meant to say. Hi-Fi Rush is the one with the guitar.
Yeah,
I was about to say Hi-Fi Rush. That was more of like a rhythm game.
Yeah, no,
but it was good too. It was really good.
Cyberpunk.
All right, two Bomb Rush Cyberpunks. I'm gonna go. Well, I honestly, if I was, the most fun I had playing a game this year was definitely Tears of the Kingdom, hands down. If I take that off the table, and I'm not picking Tears of the Kingdom, then my second choice is probably going to be Sea of Stars.
Okay.
Because I like me a good turn-based RPG, especially in that Chrono Trigger style. You know, I've always loved those games. I grew up with them, and Sea of Stars, the team that made that game, they did a great job. The combat's fun. They caught a lot of cool little mechanics that were added to the combat, kind of like the little power-up orbs you can get to make your attack stronger. It reminded me of a little bit of like the stuff that how you could save up charges in Octopath Traveler. A lot of cool stuff. How you could bounce the boomerang back, and it had like the Mario RPG mechanic where the timed hits were a thing.
Oh,
like,
the timing hits.
Yeah, like it a lot, just a real love song to all those old RPGs on the Super Nintendo that really hit hard back in the day. And if I had to pick a game other than Zelda Tears of the Kingdom, it would be Sea of Stars.
Have you finished it yet?
I'm at the end. I'm almost done.
God dang. I got like 4 game of the year.
You can only pick one.
Pick one, damn it.
So I got to pick between Sea of Stars, Mortal Kombat, Zelda, and Lies of P.
Your heart says one. You know what one it is.
I mean, yeah, I'm gonna pick Mortal Kombat. It's taken over my number 1 Mortal Kombat of all time now. I just love the mechanics of it, man. The mechanics of this Mortal Kombat are so fluid and so perfect. If anybody complains about them, you suck. Get good, son. That's all I gotta say.
I can't wait to play it. I gotta get
it. The combos and the cameo system, and once you learn to chain some combos with the cameos, it's unbelievable. And the fatalities are cool, of course. And you get customization options that are just insane. Like you can literally make your those characters like anything. Like my Johnny Cage looks like Jean Von Clandam right now. Sub-Zero looks like he's one of those what's those Spanish Mexican looking characters with a skull face?
Oh, like a luchador.
Luchador, yeah.
Yeah, he looks like Sub-Zero looks like that right now. And I got one that has like a dragon skull over his head. It's so freaking cool, man. And then the invasion mode on it. It's basically like a little miniature RPG.
Yeah, I was watching you play that yesterday. That looked cool.
You can use it's got a little bit of RPG elements in it, and that's how you unlock all the stuff. And it's just
looked way cooler than what they had in the last 2 games. What was it called? The Crypt or whatever.
Crypt and the something towers. I can't remember the name of them.
The Crypt was so stupid. You just ran around
you
going.
Do nothing. All you do is just get money and
go in there and go to graves and click X. It was dumb. At least Invasion looks cool though. Like you get little upgrades and you have to.
You could use power ups and all that stuff. But yeah, but a close second, a big shout out to Sea of Stars and Lies of P though. Those two for indie games, they are fucking superb.
I'm so surprised to hear you say that about Lies of P. I like that. That's a lot coming from you.
You know what's funny is he was streaming the other day and he didn't know what to play because Manic Mansion or whatever he was playing was horrible.
Manic Mansion. God, I am gonna kick the 2 people that told me I had to play that for NES's ass.
And I suggested Lies of P, and he's like, "All right, Neck, you just want me to be miserable, don't you?" And he put it in, and guess who loves it now?
I got good.
Yeah,
I like it. Yeah.
That's right.
You got to get good sometime. But all right, guys. So those are our games of the year. I mean, everybody's gonna have their own game of the year. Everybody has different tastes. We all like different things. I think we all agree with press and media, Tears of the Kingdom is gonna take it. Yeah, at the actual award ceremony.
Yeah.
Tell us down in the comments what your game of the year is. What's your favorite game that came out this year that you enjoyed the most? And be honest with us. We won't judge you. We don't care. But we're gonna get him on. Judge you. He'll slightly, just a little bit,
slightly, and I might change my my personal game of the year before the year's end.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we all honestly might. We might have to come back to this later.
It might be Sonic Superstars or Mario. I'm just throwing that out there.
All right,
I have a good feeling mine's going to be the Super Mario RPG remake.
Hey, I'm looking forward to that too. But we're gonna move on to the game deals of the week, and we got some deals this week. Who would like to start us off here?
I'm happy to go because I've been playing my game this week and I've got a lot I would like to say about it. So, for this week, my game deal of the week belongs to a game that flew under the radar last year but ended up being an absolute blast for fans of titles like the original God of Wars and the Devil May Cries, basically any slash and beat 'em up style. So, Solstice is available on the Epic Game Store and is available for free until October 5th. And brings you into a Dark Souls style, grungy, dilapidated world where the corrupted have been affected by wraiths turning normal folks into unstoppable monsters. Unless you're reborn with, superhero powers like our main character Lute and Briar are. Two sisters born again with superhuman strength and mystical powers that, in combination with spirit weapons and a massive gunblade style sword, you can fight to bring back the Holy Land to its once known glory. You unlock a ton of weapons and abilities that extend your combos and link huge combos together for maximizing your grade at the end of the fights, kind of like the Devil May Cry system. It's got amazing cutscenes, and I would compare it to other Final Fantasy series in regards to the aesthetic of it, and could easily be the game that fills your void until the next big release comes out for your Game of the Year. It's 100% free on Epic Game Store. Definitely download Solstice and leave your thoughts in the next podcast.
Nice. All right, guys. My game deal of the week is going to be on Steam. We got one on Steam this week. Steam's got a big sale going on. A lot of stuff's like 60 to almost 80% off. But you can pick up a classic Star Wars game this week. It's one of my favorites. And when I originally played this, when I first got my Xbox 360, I think it was the first game I bought for it. The game I'm talking about is Star Wars The Force Unleashed. You can get the Ultimate Sith Edition right now until I think November something. It's on sale right now at 65% off, so you can get it for $6.99. Really cheap. You take on the role of Darth Vader's secret apprentice and eventually unveil new revelations about the whole galaxy. You'll have a ton of different Force abilities that you customize and upgrade. Tons of different colored lightsabers and crystals that you'll use. You'll also be upgrading those. As you play through the game, you'll find the combat that it's fluid, it's enjoyable. You get tons of different Force abilities and powers, and you constantly are unlocking new ones as you play through the game. You never get stale with it because you always feel like you feel like you're becoming more powerful every time that you complete a new level, or even if you don't complete the level and you die, but you still collected some things, you can still upgrade. And if you're a Star Wars fan and you want to fling some Wookiees or stormtroopers off a ledge or throw a lightsaber through Darth Vader's head, I mean, you're going to love this game. Definitely pick it up. It's definitely worth $7.
Very good pick. Very good. My game deal of the week is coming on the Switch. It is a whopping $1.99 this week. And it's a crazy one. And it's unexpected. But it's basically what I live every day in life. It is Truck Simulator Heavy Cargo Driver 2023. And if you want to live a life as a truck driver, like I do, this is a perfect game. It literally feels just like being a truck driver. I mean, you got to do everything we do. You got to fill the truck up. You got to make stops. You got to have time. You got to do a pre-trip on your truck. You got to hook, do tug test, and it's basic.
This is the guy that said if he wanted to work, he would just go out and work in the real world.
Yeah. But it's pretty cool, man. It's $2, and it's actually pretty fun. It's actually pretty fun playing it like this because it's real. And when I do it, I'm like, that is so realistic to what truck driving is. It's crazy. But
people do like those games. They're
I like to have
actually pretty popular. Like people buy full rigs for them. And everything.
Yeah,
like,
they buy the full steering wheel and everything, and like do it. But yeah, $2. If you want to learn to be a trucker, and that's the life for you. I don't recommend it. But the game is fun. The game is fun.
All right, so for my game deal of the week, it's going to be free, and it's free on all platforms. And I do believe that just recently came out to be 100%. It's free to play. We're looking at Disney Speedstorm. If you are tired of playing Mario Kart and you want a different visual look, you look at Speedstorm, where you can actually be driving around in a pretty sick-looking go-karts as some of your favorite Disney characters. They have the weapons. It's going to be a kart racer, but you have your favorite Disney characters that you can play as. They have villains, they have heroes, they have some of the sidekicks. And it is now free to play on all consoles right now.
We'll download it right now.
Very nice. Very nice. Gotta love yourself a good racer.
I did see it free to play on Epic, so I know it is there too.
Also, something that came out that's free to play this week. F-Zero 99, guys. Go play that shit.
I've been meaning to try that. I had a couple free games this week. That's not too bad for game deals of the week, guys. You go get those free games.
Yep.
Go get those free games. But I think that's going to wrap it up for this week. Anybody got anything? Any last thoughts?
If you guys like this channel, like this video, or like our faces, please remind us by smashing that like button, smashing the subscribe button that's over there next to it, and smash the bell if you want to catch the next one on time as well. We love you.
We do. We love each and every one of you. Next week, guys, we might do another play it or throw it away. We might do a tier list. Let us know what you guys want. Let us know what we want specifically. Play it or throw it away. What console? What tier list? Give us ideas, because we love ideas. We need ideas. We actually have an idea to do Jeopardy in the future. A gaming Jeopardy. That's a little ways down the road. We'll keep you filled in on that. That might be happening here, soon. But that's going to be it for this week, guys. We will catch you next Monday. We are out. Peace.